Hey everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable the podcast. It is Thursday, May the 15th. I thought I would pop on for a little while and break down Eagles' schedule with you. Let's talk about it for a few minutes, okay? Before I do, of course, the Patriots sing of this fine podcast, which has been going on about 550 episodes. Now, there's Bud. There he is. Bud, our friend. We miss you, Bud, and we love you. There he is. Doesn't he look very casual there? Just kind of hanging out. Yeah, Bud. Ah. And if you go to pikerpress.com, pikerpress.com, you'll find on the front page of their magazine a story by yours truly called Waiting for Her. And front page, they just put it up the other day. And it's one of my favorites. And I think it's something that actually the Hallmark Channel could put. It's got a little bit of romance in it, kind of spooky stuff going on as usual, surprise ending, and same old same. Anyway, we want to talk about the Eagles' schedule. So before we do, it's the fourth hardest schedule in the NFL this year. The New York Giants, believe it or not, have the hardest schedule in the league. Why? I don't know. They, because the Giants suck. The Giants suck. But they have the hardest schedule, and Eagles are fourth. So let me bring it up here. But that's the price. That is the price of winning the Super Bowl. Now, I would rather win the Super Bowl, of course, and then have a really tough schedule the next year than not. So that's it. I mean, you're getting your first place team. You're getting harder teams to play against, more challenging teams. But if you're good enough, you're going to beat those teams, no matter where you play them. It just matters if you're good enough. So all that stuff about where you play a team, when you play a team, yeah, it matters. But again, if you have a good enough team, you could go in there no matter where. Like we're going to talk about, the Eagles have to go up to Buffalo in late December. But if the Eagles are good enough and they really need that game, they could go up there and win. So week one, this was leaked the other day. Dallas Cowboys come into the league, and first game of the season, always traditional Thursday night. The team that won the Super Bowl, Eagles, hosts the first game of the year. Play the Cowboys at 8:20. That game's going to be on NBC Thursday night. And I think the Eagles are going to win that game. Traditionally, the Super Bowl champ usually wins that first game, that Thursday game. And, the Cowboys have to sit there and watch the Eagles raise their championship banner. Like I said the other day on here, I think it'd be nice of Jeffrey Lurie to offer to Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner, hey, Jerry, why don't you get this rope here and help us with the banner, huh? Huh? Wouldn't that be nice to see Jerry Jones hoist the Eagles banner? And that would be so good, wouldn't it? That's got to kill Jerry Jones. That's got to kill the Dallas Cowboys organization, the players, the coaches, to be there on September the 4th and watch the Eagles, their rival, celebrate a Super Bowl championship. But hey, that's the way it is. Yeah. Maybe someday in the next 75 years, before the next millennium, maybe the Cowboys will have a shot at it. I do think the Eagles are going to win that game. Cowboys, even though they got George Pickens from Pittsburgh recently, they don't forget, Cowboys are the same old team as they were last year. They sucked last year. They really haven't done that much to improve their line play. They still have no running back, really, no running game. And Dak Prescott is back, but does that really make a difference? I mean, he's an interception machine. And I don't know how the Cowboys going to stop Jalen Carter and the boys from sacking Dak. Sack the Dak. So I count that as a win. Eagles emotional. I think it's going to be a big win. The Las Vegas had the line at Eagles 7-point favorites right now. And that may seem like a big line. You said Cowboys 7, yeah, Cowboys going to want revenge, blah, blah, blah. I actually thought it was going to be higher than that. Don't forget, Eagles are much, much better than the Cowboys. As long as the Eagles don't go into that game, fool themselves, they have to remember they're playing at home, they're playing Dallas on national TV. The whole world is watching. And Eagles just need to go into that game and kick some butt. So that's week 1. That's a win. Now the next game is week 2, Sunday, and it's a 4:25 game on Fox. They're playing at Kansas City at Arrowhead, playing the Chiefs. Now this game I don't feel too good about. I mean, traditionally too, you get the Super Bowl champion winning the first game, but then losing in the second game. And I don't feel good about the Eagles going into Kansas City. Kansas City has revenge. They usually play very well at Arrowhead. Andy Reid. The Eagles are going to have the advantage of a little bit more rest since they play Thursday night. But the week before, but I don't like it. I don't like it because you're going into Kansas City, and Kansas City is going to be really hyped up for that game. So Eagles could go in there and win. I mean, they did win last year, right? They went into Kansas City and beat them. But let's count that as a loss, okay? If the Eagles go in and win, it'll be a pleasant surprise. All right, so that's 1-1. Week 3, a game I'm interested in going to. Eagles come back home week 3 and play the Los Angeles Rams. That's a 1:00 game on Fox at Lincoln Financial Field, September 21st. One thing, I'm a little surprised how many 1:00 games the Eagles have this year. I'm pleasantly surprised. I didn't think the Eagles were going to have as many 1:00 games as it turns out that they have. As far as going to 1:00 games, I love them because you go to the 1:00 game, you're out of there about 4. It doesn't ruin your whole day. I mean, you go to a late game, it just screws everything. The traffic to get out of that stadium complex sometimes is really tough. So I love the 1:00 games. It's just, I just do. The Rams they're going to be tough because again, the Rams have revenge. Don't forget the Eagles beat the Rams in the playoffs last year. But 1:00 game on the East Coast is like a 10:00 game for the Rams on the West Coast. They got to go across the country again. Naturally, it's not going to be, the weather isn't going to be like it was last year due to snow and the cold weather. So one would think, the Rams have revenge. Rams, they could win this game. The Rams have a pretty good team. I don't think they will. I think the Eagles come back off the Kansas City loss and they take care of business at home against the Rams. 2-1. Week 4, Eagles go down to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. That's a Sunday game at 1:00 again on Fox. And I don't feel too good about this game either because, the Eagles never played well in Tampa Bay. Never. And end of September 28th, it's still going to be pretty hot down there in Tampa. Remember the last few times the Eagles have played down there on Sunday afternoons, it's pretty hot, and Tampa Bay seems to, since they play down there, they seem to know how to handle it a little better. I don't know. I mean, the Eagles can certainly go down there and kick some butt, but Baker Mayfield, if he plays anywhere like he did last year, which was great, gonna be a tough game. I'm gonna say it's a loss. Again, if the Eagles do go down to Tampa Bay and win, it'll be a pleasant surprise. See, here's the thing. All these teams playing Eagles, Eagles have a target on their back because they're world champions. So naturally, all these other teams are going to be up for that game that they play the Eagles. So I don't know. I just don't feel good about going down to Tampa Bay, especially that time of the year. So let's say it's 2-2. Eagles come back home. Now, here's the thing about the schedule. The Eagles are the only team, get this, the only team without back-to-back home games in the NFL this season. The only team. Yeah, certainly the NFL didn't cut the Eagles any breaks when they made the schedule. I mean, aside from the teams that the Eagles have to play, which kind of out of the NFL's hands because that depended on the Eagles' record, how far they went to playoffs, blah, blah, blah. But the way the NFL set up the schedule, the dates, where the Eagles go, they didn't do the Eagles any favors. So, only team in the NFL not to have back-to-back home games. So, week 5, Eagles come back home again. It's a 1:00 game again, and they're playing the Denver Broncos. Well, Denver was a little bit of a surprise last year. They played okay. No, they played okay. And I think they'll be okay this year, too. I mean, they had like really surprising offense last year, and the defense was good. I just can't see Denver coming into Philadelphia and beating the Eagles. I just can't see it. I think that's going to be a win. So make it 3-2 for the Eagles. Now, week 6, there we go. Home and away, home and away, home and away. Eagles go up to the Meadowlands, go up to Jersey, play the New York Giants up there. It's an 8:15 game. It's a Thursday game at MetLife Stadium. And that, of course, that's on Prime Video. So that's a short week. You got the Denver game on Sunday. Then you've got 4 days later up to play the Giants, a division rival. Never easy to play a division rival. And I know the Giants stink. They suck. And they're not going to get any better, right? They got Dart, the quarterback. But, I mean, how much is he really going to help them? Plus, so soon in the season, I think you're going to get the same old Giants. And I'm sure they're going to play hard, playing against a division rival, the Eagles, Super Bowl champ Eagles. I'm sure they will. But especially because it is a primetime game, Thursday night game. I just think the Eagles will go up there and take care of business. Giants just aren't good enough yet. Don't care if it's up there at the Meadowlands or not. Eagles win, they go to 4-2 on the season. So after that Thursday night game, the Eagles have 10 days off. Week 7, they go to Minnesota to play the Vikings. That's a 1:00 game on Fox. Sunday, October the 19th. Not an easy game. I mean, the Vikings are a good team. We saw what they did last year, right? They were in it right there to the end with the Lions. The Lions beat them at the end. Remember that game? Last game of the whole season? Sunday Night Football, Lions killed them. So Vikings, we don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be there for Minnesota. I know they would like to get J.J. McCarthy to be their quarterback. But the Vikings have a good defense, and of course you can't count them out with the offense with the receivers that they have. So I'd love to say the Eagles are going to go into Minnesota and beat the Vikings, and they very well may. And I'm going to say, I'm going to say it. Eagles win it at Minnesota, go to 5-2. I just don't see Minnesota be that good that they're going to take care of the Eagles, even at home in Minnesota. I just don't see it right now. 5-2 Eagles. Okay, then week 8, weird schedule in Cork. At the end of the year, they play the Washington Commanders 2 times within 3 weeks. Well, here in the early part of the season, they play the Giants 2 times within 3 weeks. So we've got the Giants, then we've got Minnesota, and then we have the Giants again. Back to the lake, a 1:00 game, October 26th, playing the Giants. Well, it's really tough to beat a team twice in a row like that so soon. And I think if it was anybody else, I would say the Eagles would be in trouble in this game. But again, it's the Giants. I just don't think they're good enough to beat the Eagles this year. I mean, I just don't think they're good enough. So any other team under the circumstances, I would say would have a good chance to knock the Eagles off, but not the way. I just don't like this Giants team, you know. So I think the Eagles go 6-2 to start the season. They take care of business at home against the Giants. All right, and then we have the bye week, which is in week 9. So the more or less say halfway point, Eagles are 6-2, which isn't bad, right? To start the year off, that's not bad. Schedule doesn't get easier. Usually, when you have a schedule, NFL schedule, you could break it down and you could say, okay, the first half is easier than the second half, or the second half is easier than the first half. No half is easy for the Eagles with this schedule. I can't really say one half is of the schedule is harder than the other half. Listen how the second half starts off. Week 10, which is November 10th, Eagles play Monday night football, Lambeau Field. They're playing at Green Bay. 8:15, ESPN, ABC. Now, in a way, they get a little bit of a break. I mean, it could be worse going up to Green Bay. I don't think they're going to have much problem as far as a snowstorm is concerned. But I could see November 10th, it's going to be cold up there. Definitely going to be cold up there, but it could be worse. Green Bay has a good team. I mean, all those Central teams. Oh, there goes Coco. Hey, good team. All those Central teams, NFC are going to be good this year. Green Bay, good, especially at Lambeau. Monday Night Football, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman. Tough game. I don't know. You like to say the Eagles are going to go up there and kick ass. I mean, the Green Bay's not that good, but I just got a funny feeling Green Bay's going to beat the Eagles up there. I don't know what it is. I just don't feel good about that game. So let's make it 6-3. Okay, coming out of the bye. Then we have week 11. Sunday, November 16th. My birthday. Sunday Night Football, 8:20, NBC. Eagles and the Lions. Can you believe it? The Lions. I think that was the NFC Championship game that we all kind of hoped for last year. See the Eagles play the explosive Lions. Well, it didn't work out. Lions didn't get there. But we definitely see the Lions coming into Philly Sunday night, November 16th. Now, you got to remember the Lions play in a dome. Now they're going to be playing outside in the cold. And boys, try just barking at somebody walking up the freaking street. Anyway, I don't think we'll have snow, Dad. We never have snow before Christmas, but it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold on my birthday. And so that's good. Good for the Eagles, bad for the Lions. Lions got a good team. They had all that speed at receiver, running back with Gibbs and Montgomery, Jared Goff, and Lions have a good team. Let's go to the shootout. I think no matter what, I don't know, a lot could happen before November 16th, but who knows what the line will be, but I could see that being like a 35-31 game, you know? I like the Eagles in that game because it is home. It is Sunday night football, and the Lions are outdoors. So let's go with the Eagles there, and schedule record is 7-3 so far. Then we got week 12. Sunday afternoon game, November 23rd, right around Thanksgiving. And we got the 4:25. It's a Fox game at Dallas. Crikey. Well, the Eagles swept Dallas last year. You remember that? They went down to Dallas and they finally won a game down in Dallas, and they took both games against the Cowboys. Well, you would like to think the Eagles could go down there and do that again, right? I don't think so. I hate to say it, I think the Cowboys win that game. I think the Cowboys, and again, when you get deep into the season like we're getting here, anything could happen, injuries. That's why all these people on the radio and podcasts like me, in a way, it's kind of stupid to go through the schedule. I mean, this is just fun because you really don't know about injuries or what else can occur during the season. So at this point, week 12, it's more or less you're throwing darts at the dartboard, you know. But hey, let's just have fun. Eagles down in Dallas. I just think Dallas splits this year and wins the game. So the Eagles are 7-4 after week 12. Okay, week 13, which happens to be Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So while a lot of people out there shopping for their Christmas presents, getting their Christmas trees and everything, the Eagles will be playing football Friday, 3 o'clock, Prime Video, and they'll be home playing the Chicago Bears. Well, you know, the Bears, Bears have an okay team. They're not great. The Bears are still the bottom of the heap of the NFC Central. I mean, certainly the Vikings, Packers, and the Lions are better than the Bears. The Bears are getting there, slowly but surely, but they're not quite there. I don't think the Bears could come into Philly on Black Friday and beat the Eagles. I just don't think they could do it. I see the Eagles winning and the Eagles going 8-4 at that point in the season. Okay, then we have week 14, which is a Monday game, December the 8th. So the Eagles actually have, let's see, that's a Friday. Wow, the Eagles actually have 10 days off. 10 days off there from the game at home against the Bears to the week 14 game, which is at the Los Angeles Chargers. That's Monday night, December the 8th. That's an 8:15 game, ESPN. Okay, so playing at LA, That's in the dome out there. Um, Not an easy game. You're playing Justin Herbert out there. You know, you got to respect what the Chargers are building. You know, they're getting there. Will they, will they contend with the Chiefs and the Broncos for AFC West honors? I don't know. I mean, see, to me, I don't think the Chiefs are getting back to the Super Bowl this year. I just don't think it's going to happen. I didn't think they were going to get to the Super Bowl last year. I thought Baltimore and Buffalo were better. It didn't happen. The Chiefs keep getting home field advantage. To keep having these playoff games at Arrowhead, and it's like the old days when New England used to always have home field advantage. Teams would have to go up to New England and play playoff games. It's cold and snowy, and it's a big advantage. I just don't think the Chiefs are going to get there. I just think there are too many good teams now in the AFC. I mean, we're talking Baltimore and Buffalo and Cincinnati, right? And Houston. And I don't know. Will the Chargers contend this year, finally? We say it every year. The Chargers under Justin Herbert are going to surprise people. And then they don't. So let's see what happens. It's going to be tough to go out there and win. But for some reason, Eagles usually have good luck. Whether they go out and play the Chargers or the Rams out there in California, they usually come home with a win. I think they do this time. I think they go 9-4 on the year, and they beat the Chargers. Okay, then you got week 15. Eagles come home. December 14th. Everybody's getting ready for Christmas. Christmas is only 11 days away. You're getting the presents. You're putting up the tree. You're listening to Christmas music, right? You're wrapping the presents. It's a nice time of the year. And in the midst of all that Christmassy stuff going on, you got the Eagles playing on a Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Fox is carrying it. And they're playing the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders. I think it's a game that the Eagles definitely win. Who knows what the Raiders will be like by then. But you got to remember, the Raiders are coming across country too. And the Raiders played a dome out in Las Vegas. So they're not going to be used to the cold weather. They're not going to be used to the elements. So you got the Raiders coming east. Time difference, weather. I think the Eagles take care of business there and go 10-4. Whoa, 10-4 on the season so far. All right, now we've got the last 3 games of the year. We got to talk about this. We got week 16, and it's a big one. You got the Eagles going down to Washington, play the Commanders. It's a rematch of the championship game, the NFC championship game last year. And in a way, it's a shame that the NFL waited until week 16 to put these division rivals together. The 2 teams that were in the NFC championship game, you got to play. You waited 16 weeks. What the hell, the NFL? I actually thought Eagles Washington might be a possible first game of the season. I mean, you've got so many stars playing in that game. You've got revenge, and it's just a big attraction there. But anyway, so they have it listed for either 4:30 or 8 o'clock on Fox. That is a Saturday game, by the way, my friends. Saturday, December 20th. So you got the Eagles playing on a Thursday this year, a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, and a Monday. Other teams are actually playing on Wednesday. The only day that no NFL football this year is Tuesday. Tuesday. Hi, Coco. Come on in, buddy. Hi. Say hi to everybody. Um, so Eagles down in Washington. Washington has the revenge. I mean, we don't know what these teams are going to be like by week 16, by December 20th. Again, taking into account injuries and so forth. But just judging from what they are now, tough. I gotta say Washington's gonna win that game in Washington. I just, Eagles go down there and beat them. I could see it happening, and it would be a feather in Eagles' cap. Certainly, think of it this way: do the Eagles really need that game? Is that game for the division crowd? I mean, I think it's still going to be an important game, a relevant game. How important, we don't know, but I don't know. I'm just saying right now, I could see Washington winning that game. And I say that as an Eagles fan. All right, so that's 10-5. 10-5. Still not bad heading toward the end. Then the Eagles stay on the road. Week 17, it's Sunday afternoon, December 28th, in between Christmas and New Year's. You're out visiting your family, making your rounds around the holidays there. And Sunday afternoon, 4:25 on Fox, you have the Eagles going up to Buffalo and play the Bills. Well, you got to talk about the weather first of all. You go up there that time of year, and there's a possibility you're going to see snow up there. There's a possibility you're gonna feel a lot of cold weather. And we know what the fans are like. The Eagles haven't played up there a long time. But the Bills Mafia, their fan base is just as crazy as ours. So just as emotional, just as passionate as ours. And again, it depends on how bad both teams need this game. I would think the Bills are going to be at the top of their division by then, as the Eagles are at the top of their division. This could be a preview to Super Bowl. I really thought last year it could be Eagles Bills. And I mean, let's face it, one of these years, Buffalo has to kick down the door and get back to the Super Bowl. I mean, I just see that they have to. They have to get back there. Allen, he's just too good of a player, right? MVP. You would think, added to 2 games, Washington, Buffalo, the Eagles would split, even on the road. But I don't think so. I think the Eagles get beat up in Buffalo. I just think Buffalo is going to need that game. I just think Buffalo wins. Need to say it. And as I said, I think the weather's going to play a big part of that. Is it going to limit the ability to throw the ball up there like it so often does, to kick the ball? I don't know. We just have to wait and see. Anyway, I have that for a loss, so that's 10-6. And then the last game of the year, we've got Eagles, Washington. Again, you played the Commanders after just playing them before the Buffalo game. That's a Sunday game to be determined. They actually don't have a date on it. So I think that's all to be determined. I mean, it could be, if it's for the division, it could be your Sunday night football game of the week, and really of the year. Because think of it this way: if you get down to the Washington game and you're tied and you're going for the division crown, which means an automatic bye to playoffs, which could be like a home field advantage. That game's going to be big. So I could see that being like a Sunday night game, or at least a 425 game, late game. So important game. Now, by the same token, that game may not mean anything. It's last game of the year. Eagles could be resting their starters, just as the Commanders could be. I mean, the Eagles could already be locked into the playoffs, just like Washington could be, and rested their starters. So that game could be nothing. But I don't think so. I got a feeling that game is going to be for the whole shebang. You're going to play for all the marbles there. And let's face it, I think it's going to be a split. So if we have the Eagles losing at Washington, I got the Eagles winning at home against Washington the last game of the year. Either way, if Washington loses in Washington, you have to say the Commanders have a good shot to win in Philly. We have to see what the weather's going to be like by then. It's early January. Who really needs that game, right? To me, I just think, my friends, I just think it's going to come down to the end. Washington is that good. The Eagles are that good, where they're not going to pull away. And Washington doesn't have nearly as tough of a schedule as the Eagles do. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I think it's going to be tight all the way through. And it does kind of build up the suspense to the end, because you kind of figure Washington and the Eagles are going to be the two big teams in the East. Dallas is. I think Dallas is going to be like last year. They're not going to be relevant by the end of the year. And the Giants, come on, forget it. Giants would be lucky to win 4 games this year. So, I think it all comes down to the Eagles and the Commanders. And so I think those last few games of the year are going to mean a lot. Okay, so I got the Eagles going 11-6. I've heard some people say 12 wins. I've heard some irrational people say 14. Certainly the Eagles could win all of their games. They could. They're not good. Their defense, with Barkley and Hurts and their receivers, certainly they could put up the points. The thing with the Eagles, are they going to be hungry enough this year? I mean, this is the thing. Super Bowl champion team. This is why I don't see too many repeats in sports overall, be it football or not. That's why I got to give props to Kansas City Chiefs, as much as I hate to do it, because they did repeat, because it's really hard to do it. Because again, you've got teams who they're gearing up for you. You got the bullseye on your back. Teams every single week. It's their big game of the year. Whereas we go in, we might play like New Orleans or something, and it's like a ho-hum game. For New Orleans, that's their big game of the year. And you got that every week. Every single week you're grinding it out. So for a team to repeat Super Bowl championships, really hard to do. So I think it's going to be a battle. I mean, are the Eagles going to be hungry enough? You would hope so. You'd hope Nick Sirianni would keep them hungry enough. But hey, you know what? We won it last year, but let's be greedy. Let's win it 2 years in a row, right? And the Eagles conceivably could. I mean, they still have a young team, especially with their defense. The offense is still strong. You still have Barkley in his prime, Hurts, AJ Brown, right? In fact, I think personally, AJ Brown, there's still more of AJ Brown you could get out of. I think there are weeks where you could focus on AJ Brown and give him the ball, let him catch 15 passes, right? I've always said, I don't think the Eagles utilize AJ Brown enough, but you got to take into consideration there are so many weapons on this team. You got to keep everybody happy. You want to give Barkley the ball. Look what happened last year, right? Devontae Smith could be a number one receiver in his own right. Dallas Goedert, who's coming back this year as tight end. You've got so many ways to go. So I just think the big thing is injuries. The Eagles, relatively wise, were pretty much injury free last year. Think about it. Now they had Hurts, they had Barkley in the playoffs. They compared to some other teams, the Eagles were relatively healthy. So you got to keep your fingers crossed that the same thing happens this year, that they don't lose one of the big stars early. That could have a lot to do with what happens in the division, what happens in the conference, and ultimately what happens in the Super Bowl. So comes down to that. So looking at the schedule, I see 11-6. But it could go either way. I could see them winning as many as 13 games. I could see them being 10-7. I don't think they're going to drop lower than that. 9-8. Nah. This team is too good. This team is too good. No matter if they're playing a really tough schedule, which they are doing, the team's too good to lose that many games. You just gotta hope, like I said, the breaks go Eagles' way this year. Injuries, Eagles are still cool with injuries. And again, you gotta hope that the boys and the coaches are not fool themselves, that they are still hungry and they want to repeat, just like the Chiefs did, right? So I'll give you my predictions later down the road, end of the summertime. Remember last year, August 31st, I told you Eagles are going to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Eagles are going to beat the Chiefs. That's exactly what happened. And I will give you my two teams to play the Super Bowl at that time. I will say one thing right now, as I did earlier. I don't think the Chiefs are getting back there. I just don't. Patrick Mahomes is still at the, still the best quarterback. We know Travis Kelce is coming to the end of the line, but he's still a good tight end. We know Andy Reid is still a great coach. We know all that. I just think there are too many good teams in the AFC, and there's going to come a time where the Chiefs just aren't going to get back there anymore. They're not going to get. First of all, they're not going to get home field advantage, and that is going to be the decisive thing that keeps them out of the Super Bowl. I think it's going to happen soon. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for tuning in. We'll go over the schedule again as the summer progresses on. Yeah, well, and like I said, a lot depends on injuries, and maybe there'll be some trades before the season starts, right? And that could change the balance of power too. But at least now we have a kind of firm hold on who's going to play who, what, where, and when, and the circumstances. And as I said, Eagle, I can't say like some of these guys on the radio, oh, the Eagles got screwed. No. The Eagles play who they play because that's the way, that's what the Eagles deserve. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. To be the best, you got to beat the best. Okay? And so I have no problem with the Eagles schedule. None at all. The thing that could have been different about it was when the Eagles play up in Buffalo, when they play up in Green Bay, that sort of thing. the fact that they don't have 2 home games in a row, that all could have been different. I think it's good when the bye occurs, week 9. That's not bad. You want the bye to occur like right in the middle of the season so that you can rest up from the first half and you could recharge your batteries for the second half there. You don't want the bye too early. You don't want the bye too late in the year. So as far as the bye is concerned, it came out at a pretty good time for the Eagles, I have to say. But so we'll talk more Eagles down the road. And in the meantime, enjoy the Phillies. They're off tonight, but they will start a weekend series against the Pittsburgh Pirates over the weekend. Now, Sunday, my friends, if you have tickets to the game, great, enjoy it. It's supposed to be a beautiful day Sunday. If you don't have tickets, tune in on Sunday and watch the game. Why? Because Paul Skeens, that young right-hander for Pittsburgh, for the Buccos, is pitching against our Phillies. Let's see how the Phillies did. Skeens so far isn't what he was last year. He's not striking out as many people. That doesn't mean he doesn't have the ability to do it. Maybe he's just kind of figuring out how to pitch, He is a guy who throws the ball 100 miles an hour consistently. And he's got a nasty curveball and a nasty slider to go with it. He's already, I think, confirmed that he's going to be on the USA team for the Baseball Classic next year. So he could be heading up our staff. So watch Paul Skeens on Sunday. Hopefully the Phillies take care of business. They just lost 2-3 to St. Louis. If you listen to me on Tuesday, I was here on Tuesday. I told you I think St. Louis is going to take the series. The Phillies did not lose a home series since last July when they played the Yankees. So why did I think St. Louis was going to come in and knock them off? Because St. Louis, coming into Philadelphia, had won 8 games in a row. Hot team. And want to go with the hot team. Phillies, they've been playing okay, but they haven't been, like steamrollers. And as it turned out, St. Louis took 2-3. So time for the Phillies to get back on the shtick and take care of the weekend series against Pittsburgh before they get. Now, next week, Phillies could make some head. Listen to this. They play 4 games in Colorado, and Colorado sucks. Oh, my God. Colorado may challenge, the record for losses was set last year by the Chicago White Sox, 121. The Rockies may challenge them this year. That's how bad they are. So the Phillies go out and play 4 in Colorado, and then they play 3 in Sacramento against the A's. Now, the A's have a pretty good team. I like the A's team, but they're playing in Sacramento. It's like a little league field out there. That'll be interesting. So we'll see how the boys do as we come up to Memorial Day, right? All right, everybody, take care. Peace and love. I'll be back again soon, and we'll do our thing. Maybe we'll talk a little movies and what else is happening in the world. I hope you enjoyed my little breakdown of Eagles schedule, little Eagles talk there, and we'll have more of that down the road. So stick with me. Thanks again for subscribing. Everybody, thanks again for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Peace and love. Bye for now. Go Eagles.